Hey, how's it going guys? It's Dockers and welcome back to another video on Mavrix. Now today's video is going to be a little bit different. So, for the past week we have been putting questions in the Discord for Matt and Jono to answer. This happened last night on Discord. They did a community event where they hosted a stream, got to answer a lot of our questions on what's coming in the game, the sort of things that we would like to see. Now this video is going to be taking some of those highlights of that video, going through it, and I'll be giving my thoughts and feelings on this update. So, in the words of Jono Jones,
I think we should dive in.
Yeah,
some questions.
read your questions, and I'll probably end up divulging deepest, darkest secrets of the future of Mavrix, but that's good because you guys rock and you're the core.
You deserve to hear it.
When can we expect another update with things like dirt jumps, hardtails, and more free ride dirt jump stuff? Okay, another fellow dirt jump minded person. Right now, you've got enduro bikes and downhill bikes, and they're very similar. Some of them, just move up a bit for us. Sometimes like an enduro bike works better. Sometimes a downhill bike gets better. We need to and we want to, and we're working to differentiate those more, so that you've got like a specific use case for an enduro bike and a specific downhill use case. And then we can feed in other bikes. So dirt jump bikes are certainly on the list, especially if you want to do like loads of street tricks and dirt jump tricks like triple bar spins. You're going to want to do that on a dirt jump bike. You'll still be able to do them on an enduro bike. You obviously can't do those on a downhill bike because you can't spin the bars with great big triple clamps. And then we're even thinking about how we utilize e-bikes as well. Like, will it be quicker to get around the world and discover stuff on an e-bike, especially when we get to a point when we can, hide things in the world and make it incentivize you to travel and find like the secret Easter egg sides of Mavrix. Road bikes, absolutely not. No. Yeah, how do we kick someone? No, joking. No, it's not. Don't plan on having a road bike game. I'd like to have it so we have vehicles on our road.
Yeah.
And you could like skitch on them to get around because we've got chairlifts. But I think adding vehicles, like the roads are there, we may as well utilize them, right?
Bowser's was asking how e-bikes would even work, but
well, you'd just be able to pedal weight.
it's like it. We'd like to be able to. There's a lot of places in the world that you'll have never been, right? Because there's no reason to go there. You probably have, you guys. But if for any reason there were things hidden out there, and you knew that if you went exploring, you might find a super rare helmet or some rare components or things like that, that'd be a cool place to get to.
so I love the fact that there's going to be more of a separation between the bikes, especially when it comes to things like tricks. So if we're doing trick lines, being able to take the dirt jump bike to do more styles of tricks. Like Matt said, with the triple clamp forks, you're not going to be able to bar spin. So if there's certain things you want to do, you're going to need to bring certain bikes, which I think is an absolutely great thing. And the e-bikes, as Jono said, if they start adding things like collectibles around the map or Easter eggs, I think it's going to be a great way to get around. One thing we don't want is if it's got an increased pedal speed, we don't want it to become the only bike we use for racing. But I'm sure there'll be things put in place, so like max speed you can hit with an e-bike and things like that. But I think that's a really nice addition.
Are there plans to add another bicycle brand to the game? Yeah, 100%. Right now our bike skeleton is such that it's like fixed, and you couldn't stretch it 2 times and have a Sam Pilgrim bed bike, for example. But we're modifying that to allow variation and like mix it up with the brands, and that's on the roadmap. So we just need to sign license agreements with the right brands, which we've already done some, so they're ready and waiting. And that kind of queues up our ability to add all the riders we want to add, right, as playable characters. So absolutely, we're not just going to stick with Marin bikes. There's going to be way more. We want you guys to be able to pick and choose your bike brand, your suspension brand, your wheels, your tires, your grips, your brakes. That's all coming. I probably need to read more questions. But when we were coming up with ideas for Mavrix, certainly Jono wanted to live in the garage. For you, it was about tinkering and customizations. That's certainly where we need to get to. That is an authentic part of mountain biking that makes people excited. Just dicking around with what bike parts you have and spending loads of money on stuff in the real world is what people do. So we may as well make that free and fun and easy in game.
Okay, so new bike brands coming. So as Matt has just said, that they've already signed a few things for some of the other bike brands. Obviously, we don't know any details of which ones yet, but they will be coming because there's going to be people who want to run certain bike brands in the game. Their favorite brand, maybe it's a bike that they've got. So completely understand them adding more. I think it's going to be brilliant for the customization of your rider and things like that. Yeah, and also with the rider skins, I think that's a great idea. You know, there's going to be people who have their favourite rider and their favourite style of rider. So having the bike customization, but also having the ability to, rather than just change your top and your trousers and your shoes like you can at the moment, being able to look like your favourite person as well, I think is great. It's really going to bring out those people and show off who they really enjoy and want to be like.
Yes, when is Mavrix coming to Xbox and PlayStation? We are several weeks into the dev work to get onto console, to get onto PS5 and X Series, and then hopefully in the future get to the older consoles. It's a lot more work, but that's on the list. That's where some people play, and we want to reach everyone. That will be the start of 2026. So up till previously, it's been too early to say, but we can definitely make that announcement now. That's only a few months away. And there's probably going to be a question on it, right? But there will be the ability to cross-play, and any progress you've made on PC should be mirrored on your PS or Xbox account.
So we have an early 2026 release for the console version of the game. Now, when the game first came out, optimization was quite bad. You know, we all needed quite beefy PCs to be able to play this game. However, after the first update, which was only 4 weeks after release, the game feels a lot better and runs a lot better as well, which is great news. So I can only imagine how good it is going to be come the beginning of next year when the console versions come out. Obviously, it's going to bring a lot more players into the game, which is, again, absolutely brilliant. And also the fact that there's going to be account link in the game. So for me, personally, I work away from home at times and I don't get to play. When I'm sat in a hotel on an evening, when I'm away, for me to be able to pick up my Xbox control and like direct link to my Xbox and know I'm playing on the same account as my PC version is going to be brilliant, because it means I can just get that little fix, give myself something to do on the evening, ride with the guys and things like that. I think that's absolutely brilliant. Having that link between the two is going to be a real good benefit to a lot of people.
Will you be adding DLC at some point? For example, Fox Clothing, very niche, specific example. We're going to be adding more clothing brands and customization options, and there's a big step towards that in the next update with how we award and how you can unlock like customization options and shop items, which is fun. But Fox is on the list. DLC, I'd rather it just be grind, unlock, spend in-game currency. We don't want to put anything behind a paywall, not for a long time anyway, while the game is still the way it is in early access. And all of you guys that got in early, I never want you to have to pay to unlock something that you actually helped us develop. So yes to more stuff, no to more money.
I think that's a really cool statement that Matt's just said there, you know, yes to more stuff, no to more money. You don't hear that from games companies nowadays. You know, nowadays they come out like things like Call of Duty and that. Oh, here's a new gun. By the way, it's 20 quid. You know, these guys are saying, whatever we build for the game, you've bought the game. Therefore, you own everything in the game. The stuff like the customization side of it, like the clothing and things like that, you have to play the game to get the stuff. You know, that's how it should be. I think that's a really awesome statement of what the guys are doing, you know, especially the fact that these guys are funding the game themselves. I think it's just, you know, hats off to them. That's the way it should be.
Our race run replays and or verifications planned in the future updates. So yes, and actually in the Unreal Engine, I think you can gather enough data to know what someone did to set a time. So we'd on our side would probably be quite close to that already. But I absolutely want you to be able to go down a leaderboard, click on someone, watch their run. Like that's the end goal. We're not there yet, but that I think is what's required from a really cool racing game, especially when there's in the next few weeks and months like big prizes up for grabs to play for playing, especially racing.
Race replays, that is going to be awesome. You know, at the moment, what we're all doing or what most of us racers are doing is when we complete a really good run, we are saving that run. So we've got software running in the background that's permanently recording, and then we hit a key command on our keyboard and we will save, like, say, the last 3 minutes, clip that into a video, and then we'll post it on Discord for everyone else to watch. But to have the inbuilt engine do it, so that all you have to do is click on a leaderboard. So you can go, oh, I wonder how this person's taking the line. You could watch that and then see a person maybe who's gone a little bit faster, watch their line and go, okay, they're faster in the last section, but at the first section, the person below them in the leaderboard's actually quicker. Being able to study everybody's lines, I think, is going to be an awesome addition.
What are our most highest priority things? We should just be honest. The next update is so much around racing. That's what we're prioritising at the moment because that's what people are enjoying.
Yeah, we're going to launch. I'll just say it to these. These all know about it. They don't know, but they're legends. We're going to launch something called the Mavrix Cup, which is essentially a standalone race series where the leaderboard doesn't exist, and then we announce the time frame for the Mavrix Cup. So let's say it was a 3-round series over 3 days or 3 weeks, and it's on Dragonback, Crazy Train, and Jolly Good. You have a set amount of time, which we dictate, and you'll see it in game, to go and set a time on those 3 tracks, and you'll get points that add together to the overall rounds, the overall series, and then it's done, right? The end date comes, and whoever's got the most points is crowned Mavrix Cup winner. And we'll have a proper prize purse, like cash up for grabs for that, and prizes for each round. And it's our ability to kind of get everyone sessioning one track so hard and watching the leaderboards change. Like, you might be number 1, and then you go back on, and you're number 12, and you've got 25 minutes left to up your numbers, man. So that's really exciting for me. And watching the Downhill World Cup series this year, how competitive it's been, and how different people have been favourites along the way. That's very much what's inspired me to create the Mavrix Cup and create a place where you could have got lucky in January and you got the fastest time in the world on Dragon's Back, but 3 months later it's back in the Mavrix Cup and it's a full level playing field. You got to have the right bike and the right kit. So
there's something about I love racing. That's what I've always loved to do. There's something about turning up for a race weekend and you have to deliver that weekend. And right now with racing in Mavrix, there's always that feeling of, I'll try again another time. I can come back later. You know that there's a finish date for the event that you're doing. I think that adds a lot of pressure, and the fastest people will win. It's going to be really, really cool. And like Matt said, when that ends, you add up the points, winner takes all, and then a few weeks later we'll do it all again.
Mavrix Cup. Oh, let's go. So we are looking at, the start of the esports side of mountain biking. This is extremely exciting for a lot of us. These times that we're posting up currently on leaderboards are about to get serious. Obviously, the leaderboards at the moment is just a static leaderboard of everybody who's been down that track. But to have a separate leaderboard come up that only lasts a certain time period, and then it will be across multiple racetracks with a point system for how far you are up those leaderboards. Oh, it's going to get competitive. It's really going to get competitive. This is something to be incredibly excited for.
Rift Flies wants to know about tricks. I've already teased. We've got 360s now, which isn't really a trick, but it completes all the rotations. We've teased the Superman seat grab. I'm adding tuck no handers, which we motion captured, like invert tabletops, bar spins, tail whips, and no foot cans is on the list so far.
Which is pretty cool. We're stoked to have bar spins and tail whips because obviously you can only do them on the Enduro bike. So it's going to switch things up and give each bike choice a little bit more meaning. And ultimately the downhill bikes will have different tricks for those inputs when you're on those. So that's going to be cool. It's going to mean you choose the bike for what you're looking to do.
So as Matt said there, we knew about the Superman seat grab. We've seen a little clip pop up. I think it was on the Discord. It may have been on one of his YouTube videos of the motion capture side of that being done. But yeah, being able to send our trick lines now where we've just been doing flips and things, but being able to do these actual tricks, I think that's going to be awesome. There's going to be some people making some crazy content on doing sort of like a downhill line, putting all sorts of tricks the whole way down. It's going to be great.
When are we getting new stuff on the radio for race commentary?
We had that chat this week, yeah, didn't we?
Yeah, we've got another day planned with Rob Warner to add more, commentary. So when you do scrubs and squashes, you get new ways of hearing about it. And every time we add a track, they've got a new name and new features. And of course, when tricks come to the game, that's even more. I'd be curious to know whether you want Rob Warner to do trick commentary or whether you'd prefer someone else, or I'm sure I could do it, but I'm probably not as funny as
I'd love for it
Warner.
to be Rob.
So this is great news, getting Rob Warner back in to do some more voiceover lines. He recorded thousands of lines for this game, but the people who race, we're hearing the same 3 or 4 lines going on about how we're squashing or taking berms and things. So I think adding a few more is going to be great work. When it comes to the trick side of it, maybe have both Matt and Jono involved in that as well. So you may pull one trick and Rob shouts something. You pull another crit like a Superman seat grab backflip, and Matt goes crazy. Or you do something while you're on a race run, and Jono goes crazy. I think it would be cool to have a mixture of everybody getting involved in that.
IP1's asked about proximity chat. Yeah, right now you can't speak to anyone you're riding with in the world without chatting to them on Discord or calling them. That's not the point of this game for me. I want it to be social. I want you to be able to say, follow this line, come over here. Have you found? That's on the list. It's not coming in the next update, but I think the work starts, not too far away. Proximity chat is easier than full open world chat. And then on console, you get the ability to lean into party chat and stuff like that. So it's coming, whatever console it's coming,
Proximity chat's going to be awesome. The fact that you'll be able to go down on, say, you may be doing a race run together with a group of friends, doing a train down a race line, and you could all be chatting to each other as you go, or if you're just free riding, being able to communicate with your friends while you're playing and with random other people is just going to be absolutely brilliant.
Do you want to give away a little update about riding with the crew?
Which one? What's behind us?
Exactly. We're going to have... So when we've been...
Weird cryptic things.
When we've been riding together, a cool part of riding with other people is like they're all around you and you're doing train. But if you're at the front of the train, I've often found like I'm more concerned about whether everyone's still behind me. And we wanted to be able to just know and make sure that people are there. So we're going to add a look behind you mode. So if you're doing like big trains and things, you can just quickly check behind you. It's just like a reverse camera, but that's really dope. Like you're doing those free ride lines under Foxtrot, some of the new ones we're building now, to be able to look back and see everyone whipping behind you is going to be really, really cool.
And this is something that's so small that's going to make such a big impact to the game. The amount of times that me and the guys have been doing long train lines down from the top of Chairlift Foxtrot, like Jono has just said there. The amount of times that we're trying to record some footage and we're always like, yeah, but we have to be right at the back to see everyone going down. Whereas now, you're going to want to be going, right, I'm going to send it down first and pull some tricks. Let's see what you guys can do behind me. So you could pull a trick and as you land, check over your shoulder and see them coming into the landing as well. It's going to make such a big difference and it's such a minor little detail to be added.
We found that when we were sort of free riding, it was like, what's over that edge? And this happened before we launched the game, but if you pull both brakes and stop, you get the orbital camera that spins around the bike, and you can control that with the right stick and move it in and out and have a look around. It's not the rider's head movement for sure. It serves a purpose, but yeah, we'd need to have a think about. Well, it'd be cool to know actually how many people wish that they had a way of looking around and things.
Okay, so this little conversation started from a question that I asked about being able to get off of the bike. Now, the reason behind that is, at the moment, obviously, your left stick controls your bike and the right stick controls your rider with your leaning. One thing we have got, and as Jono mentioned there, if you hold both the brakes and stop for a few seconds, the orbital camera detaches from your bike and starts rotating around, which you can control. However, what would be good, and it's another thing that would help with things that we do, which is recording groups of people coming down doing trick lines. Someone will park up on a ramp, be in first person, but you're locked in that camera. So if people are jumping past you, you can't follow them. Whereas what we were asking for is a way to either get off the bike so that your right stick then becomes a camera, effectively. So you can just look around. You can then track people as they go. The other thing that came from this a little bit further on in the conversation, unfortunately I don't have the footage for it, is we were saying, or maybe like a drone. So rather than getting off your bike, you stop. You could, for instance, hold up on the D-pad and it will spawn like a little drone on the floor effectively. So you would just be then a hovering camera and you could then fly and follow people down lines, or you can set the camera up in a set place so that you could then ride it, and then it will capture the footage from that camera at the same time, you know. So there's lots of different ways that this can be done. Obviously, it's a lot of work to do that, but I think it would be great more for the content creation side of things, or for people who just want to record a different angle of their own trick lines. I think it will definitely be something that will be worth looking into for sure, personally, but that's purely because obviously me and the guys enjoy creating this sort of content. But yeah, let us know in the comments below what you also think on that. So guys, that is the end of this video. There were more points that the guys have brought up. Obviously, they did say near the beginning that this Thursday there is a video coming out on their YouTube. So make sure you keep an eye out for that, going over more of the details. Sorry for my microphone quality. Unfortunately, it keeps freaking out. So every now and then I have got an echo, then I don't have an echo. I'm not sure what it is. I've tried doing all sorts of settings, but I needed to get this video out now because I'm not available for the next few days, and I wanted to get it out to you guys as soon as possible. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of things to unpack here. The main thing obviously being Mavrix Cup. It is going to be huge. The competitiveness of these leaderboards is about to be insane. Obviously there's a few of us that have been smashing these times and just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. Obviously not picking on anyone, Apex. But yeah, you know, for those of us that are wanting to hit these race times, we're now going to be really competitive with each other, which is great. And I think there's going to be a lot of people who haven't been concentrating on the racing, which all of a sudden are going to start appearing on these race times, which I think is awesome. It's going to get a lot more people involved in wanting to push as hard as possible for these times. So yeah, it's all good news. These guys are doing an insane job. I mean, you know, as I've said before, two guys who have not been part of this gaming world, so to speak, with development, for Jono to leave his job to fully focus on this, and for Matt to be full on involved with this while the two of them are still doing their bikes, their YouTube channels for riding their bikes and racing and competing and all this sort of stuff. It's insane, the details and the amount of time these guys are giving up. You know, it is absolutely incredible to see. You can really see the love and passion they have for this game, and the fact that they are so involved with the community as well. You know, the other day I was live streaming, Matt just dropped in and started saying hello to everyone. That sort of thing is insane. It's absolutely brilliant. You know, it's really, really nice to see. But yeah, on that, guys, I'm going to leave it. This video has been going on for quite a long time. A lot longer than my usual video. It's also a lot different than my usual video. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments down below. Get into the Discord for the game. Give us all a shout in there. If you see us in-gaming up the mountains, just give us a shout, you know. Bunny hop a few times in front of us. If you haven't got Discord, we'll see it's you. Follow us down lines, you know, join in. If you see us in-game, let us know. You know. But also, guys, I do live stream this game. Whenever I go live, I do post the link directly into the Discord general chat as well. So if you do fancy dropping by, subscribe to the channel, you know, give us a thumbs up and all that. Jump in the live stream, say hello to everyone while we're playing. We are such a good community in this game. It's incredible. And on final note, hopefully we will catch you up that mountain.